Well, hello there. If you are with me watching right now, I'm glad you're here. Let me turn this music down just a hair. It's really loud for me, so I'm gonna turn it down, and I might just switch it up a bit. Let's get something else going here. Hopefully, I don't get like. Uh, let's switch that. I need something royalty free. I don't want to get like a strike. Thanks, man. Thanks. I haven't decided if I want to do this like for D&D as well, but I like this for what I'm doing right now, which is talking to you guys. Um, but yeah, man, Nerd Basics, how you doing tonight, man? I feel like I need to be centered, looking right at the camera here. I'll do that. But yeah, it's turn it down just a hair again. Oh, really? You might be waiting a little bit because Cold War was a beefy download for me, man. Like it was rough. Um, it's worth the wait though. It's definitely worth the wait. Hey, Adams and nerds, good to see you guys. Hey guys, guess what I got? And I wanted to show you. I actually got it 2 days ago and I haven't shown anybody really yet. But I have the new Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And I might. This is might be a video in and on itself later because I have not got to read it all yet. Uh, so there's some good stuff in here, some stuff that I definitely want to use, and there's some stuff in here I'm a little iffy about. You know, I'm not being gatekeeper or old school or anything. Everything's got its place. Everything definitely has its place. And this is, I don't know. Like I said, there's some stuff in here. I'm not real big on. Let me put it this way: the big. Let's just go ahead and talk about it tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about this. If y'all have any questions, this is Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This is the newest D&D supplement. It's got a beautiful cover. Yes, I actually am because have you ever heard of Tasha's Hideous Laughter? I'll let you answer that. But Tasha's Hideous Laughter and all that stuff. Tasha is a spellcaster in D&D lore, or I don't know how new she is. This is stuff I've heard. So, man, I haven't even cracked the spine on this yet. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, don't crack the spine." I do what I want. So, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is kind of like a follow up to the player's. It's another supplement, of course, to the player's handbook. The player's handbook being, of course, your Bible for D&D. You need that to really get going, and so what we've got is, of course, you've got Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and then you got Tasha's Cauldron of Everything as well. So all the stuff is like Xanathar's. You've got Volo's Guide to Monsters. You've got Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. You've got a lot of stuff out there that has different character, monster, etc., etc., etc. options. This is something that gives you more options. Now, the big deal, the big hullabaloo about it was that from people I've talked to is that now I've not gotten way into this is that you can take racial traits and use them how you want to now. So when I mean racial traits, I'm talking about I don't know what you just sent me. I was looking on my watch, so I'll just check my phone. Um, yeah, I know. I don't know how to change it. I've done it multiple times. I've got the stream information right now. Ask a DM. So I don't know how to change that unless I do this. Dungeon, or we'll just do just chatting. No, we'll do Dungeons and Dragons. Because this is real good right here. Let's update that information there. There we go. Let me know if that worked, Adam. So Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is, man, it changed. Okay, good. The big thing about it was you could take racial traits and move them around as you wanted. Like, if you're a gnome, you get like a negative to your strength or whatever. Or if you're an orc, you get a negative to your intelligence score. Well, now Tasha's is allowing you, saying that you can take those and there's no real negatives that I know of, but you can take the pluses and dexterity if you're an elf, and then move them over to okay, perfect. Thank you very much. You can take the pluses and dexterity as an elf and move it over to strength if you want to play an elf barbarian. Okay, so to me that's not such a big deal, because if you've got the backstory to back that up, then I don't care. As a DM, I'm not all that strict on. I'm all about the rule of cool. I'm all about the storyline behind it. I'm not so much really hardcore strict on the rules, as written. Now, the rules as written are great, and they need to be there, but the rules as written are a guideline, and it says so in the DMG. It says so everywhere. The original creators of Dungeons & Dragons said the rules are there to guide you and help you, tell a good story, so to speak. So, or just have a fun game. So we're all in it for fun. So if you want to come to me and tell me that the Constitution, the pluses in Constitution you get as a dwarf, you want to move over to Dexterity because your dwarf actually trained with elves to be to be more stealthy in the woods instead of being a hardy dwarf that can drink you under the table. Then hey, tell me why, how, when, where, all that good stuff, and we'll make it happen. That's not a big deal to me. Now, it does come with some really cool, class options and things like that. So there's some subclasses in here. So let's take a look real quick. I won't do too much on Tasha's because I don't want D&D to, I don't want Wizards of the Coast destroying me. But there's some really cool stuff with the Artificer or Artificer or however you want to say it. I say Artificer. But, you've got your quick build, class features, all that good stuff. So let's look. Specialist. You can specialize in alchemy, be an armorer, things like that. Where is... I'm playing a battlesmith in something right now, in a game right now. And man, battlesmiths are really cool. But there are different, they've got all your classes in here, and then they've got different subclasses, different spells and everything. The other really cool thing is, and I don't mind it, I think it actually adds to the game. It says, from what I understand, like I said, I haven't read the book front to back. I haven't read it front to back yet, but it has been told to me that you can now, on a long rest, have a wizard be able to change their cantrips as long as they've got the formula written down. You declare the formula written down or anything. So after a long rest, you wake up. If you want to change your cantrips, you can. Now, as a DM, I would put a little bit of a stopping point on that. Changing them every day or whatever. But I think that's pretty cool. I mean, if for some reason Okay, so a wizard has burning hands, or firebolt or anything like that, and yeah, kind of like how druids can change per long rest as well. Yes, absolutely. So if they've got firebolt, but you're in the middle of Avernus and everything has fire resistance or anything like that, what good is firebolt going to do you as a cantrip? So you can change it around to an ice-based spell to do a little more damage, which I think is great. I think it fits along with it. They're also saying that the fighter can change their fighting style after a long rest, which might be problematic in the long run, and it might cause the player problems. But like I said, I haven't read it front to back, but I'll read it and let you all know. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and like I said, there's some stuff I'm like, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, man. So Tasha's is great. I also picked up. It's in my backpack, and I just don't feel like getting it right now. But I picked up Storm King's Thunder today, and man, does it look cool! It looks cool. It looks really cool. I am. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm a big fan of giants and everything giant related. Especially here lately. I don't know why. So I think it'll be a lot of fun to run in the future. Um, so right now I'm DMing Curse of Strahd, and actually Nerd Basics is one of my players. I hope can I say yeah, Storm King's Thunder does look incredibly overwhelming, but it's one of those things like me, I streamline certain things. Um, oh well, thank you. Um, the wizard being able to change their cantrips is a cool thing. Changing is cool, man. It can really add to it can add to the storyline. Pardon me while I text. uh, Sorry. Yeah, that was real good streaming right there. I stopped in the middle of it to send a text. But hey, didn't mean to link. That's all right. I don't think it leads to anything. Hopefully, thing dot changing. I don't think it leads to anything, buddy. But I'm not going to click on it right now. But yeah, it's man, it's Storm King's Thunder. I can't wait to crack it open. But I'm running through Curse of Stride right now, and Nerd Basics is one of my players in it. He's a good player. He's been fun. He just needs to stop second guessing himself about his choices that he makes. Tanner. Um, but it is man, Curse of Strahd is this game has gone way past my expectations on a game. You're not bad, dude. I'm just messing with you, but it's gone way past my expectations on anything that I've ever DM'd, and I love it. I've loved every minute of it. We've got a good group that really meshes well together, and the funny thing is like in the story, the group of adventurers is really just kind of just getting to know each other, and most of the players are just getting to know each other as well, and they mesh well together, and it's a lot of fun to watch them. It's especially a lot of fun to throw them on a bridge with a bunch of giant spiders and watch them freak out a little. So that's great. And everybody's like, "There's no giant spiders in Curse of Strahd." Well, there is in my Curse of Strahd game. So yeah, um, it's been really cool. Is there a particularly epic moment where your players have surprised you yet? Yes. Epic moments. Tanner as Mulgar, the Goliath druid, which blows my mind that he is making a Goliath druid work and work well. Um, just straight up went up and tried to jack Strahd right in the face with an attack, and he took a backhand from Strahd and took it like a champ as well. So Tanner, the player, knowing the implications of attacking at level, what level were you, 3? Or you hadn't made it to level, y'all hadn't made it to level 4 yet. Of going one-on-one with Strahd and doing it in, yeah, it was 3. Too much credit. Mulgar is hard to figure out. Yeah, he is. I get it. But a level 3 character going up, and a player knowing that Strahd as the big bad guy could, big bad evil guy could like lay waste to him. To his credit, man, as a player, he didn't give a crap. He said, "Well, this is what my character would do, and this is how he would do it. So let's get on it." And he did it, and caught a backhand to the face that was pretty sick. But yeah, that was a really cool moment. And then another moment. It's just been really good role play. Everybody role plays in their own way. Not everybody does all the silly voices or anything like that. I try, and I'm very terrible at it. It's not very good when I do it, and I try. But but everybody does their own, and they really get in the mind of their characters, which is more than I could ever ask for. And it's a lot of fun to watch them think about what their characters would do. The one that's blossoming right now is Kaylin, coming into her own on that. And then I can't wait. And I was actually discussing this. With Kenny, the gentleman that plays Enoch in our campaign. We both cannot wait for Elrond to come into his own. So Brittany has a phenomenal character right there, and I cannot wait for Elrond to just absolutely break out of his shell and start whooping up on some people. I mean, more so. It's really fun. All of your characters are good. They're good characters, and yours is the first. Mulgar is the first. Goliath druid that I've ever heard of. I'm sure there's been other Goliath druids out there because it's a big world, but maybe not. But Mulgar is yours. Enoch is mysterious. Elrond is also pretty cool. Enoch is very mysterious, but Kenny knows what he's doing. He and I have discussed his character and everything. You're going to be impressed. You're going to be cool. It's a lot of fun. He's a fun character. Kenny's just a fun dude as well. So yeah, there's been some good moments. Another particularly epic moment that wasn't in this campaign, but was in a campaign. Unfortunately, we had to scrap due to life getting in the way and COVID happening in the middle of it. So we were doing Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and with Ghosts of Saltmarsh, they went off the rails on that. They made it exactly 1.5 stories into Ghosts of Saltmarsh before I had to start writing my own campaign. So I started writing my own campaign. It was pretty cool. I missed it at times too, my man. I miss it at times too, but I'm having a lot of fun with Curse of Strahd right now, so I can't miss it too much. But they were doing a ship-to-ship battle, and so we had two pirate ships, each firing cannons at one another, and they were close enough for Andy, who played Hazim, the half genie in that, which was a phenomenal character on its own as well. And he was really the glass cannon of the group. He was very powerful, but I mean, like if you flicked him, he'd go down more than likely. But he was a half genie, so he was a wild magic sorcerer. That actually his wild magic surge went off a couple of times, and it was hilarious and dangerous at one point. But Hazim looks and he goes, "How close is this ship?" And I forget how close, and the spell escapes me right now, the distance on the spell. But I told him a distance. He said, oh, "Okay, good. I want to cast reduce on the bottom of the boat, the bottom of the ship, on the stern." And I was like, what? What? Do you mean? And so he wanted to reduce that, shrink it, which would completely destroy the boat. And I not being nautical really beyond like a bass boat to go fishing in. I've never never sailed a ship or anything like that. I had to look it up real quick, so I googled what would happen if a ship had no whatever, and it would probably capsize, flip, turn upside down, and everybody would die. That's what happened, and it blew my mind. I mean, like that was like Andy ended up with a lot of inspiration points in that because he was always pulling off something that really like kept me on my toes, which I love. Excuse me. But so that was another epic moment, not necessarily in Curse of Strahd, but have you guys got any other questions that you may have? Because this is actually I've been talking a lot, but this is a D&D Q&A. I also have some questions that were sent to me as well, and I'll do this. If either one of you have any questions that we can like kind of share with whoever may watch this rerun or anything like that, y'all go ahead and think about it. And actually, I've got one from Zach here. Major Victory 80. Who's winning? Who's winning what, buddy? Major Victory 87. That's a great name. That is a great name. Is that from Major Victory? Is that from? Yeah, you can roll perception. Go for it. Major Victory from Marvel Comics. Shoot, Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the members of Guardians of the Galaxy, man. He was Lance Victory, and he carried Captain America's shield. Battlefield 1942, not the Marvel dude. Okay, I will go with that one then. That one's just as cool, man. I get it. I get it. So that's awesome. But so who? What do you mean? Who's winning? But let me ask. Let me get this question that was sent in to me from Zach. Zach emailed me a question, and he said, "What is the most fun part of DMing for you?" If you win against the enemy by a large margin, you get a major victory screen. Oh, okay, I got you now, major victory. Yeah. It's been a minute since I played Battlefield 1942, like a long time ago. But so Zach wants to know what the fun part or the most fun part of DMing is for me. The most fun part of DMing for me is seeing the looks on my players' faces of that. I know the name of other uses. Oh yeah, it has other uses. Yeah, that's true. The most fun part for me is seeing the look on my players' faces when something unexpected or fun or awesome or terrifying happens, and they're really into it. That lets me know that they are having fun, and that's what it's about for me. I want them to have fun. When they have fun, I have fun. So I think it was one time where, just recently, Mulgar was led into was called over into the woodline from the Vistani camp in Curse of Strahd, and this woman was standing there, and she told him that you will find friends in Vallaki at the Blue Water Inn, and with that, she turned into a raven and flew away. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. And I heard, and I was like, yeah, man, it's already like almost 9:30. We got to end it. And so that was a big rush for me. That was the most fun I had in a long time, knowing that they were hooked into that. So that was a lot of fun. I guess you could say it's validating for me as well. But honestly, I care more about them having fun than me being validated, of course. But still, it feels really good when your players get into it like that. Adam, what'd you get on your perception roll, man? So what do you do when your crew chooses a path that you never intended, such as taking out a key NPC? Man, it keeps you on your toes. the most recent thing I had to do when my crew took a path that I was not expecting was I wrote an entire story for them that had nothing to do with, well, had little to do with Saltmarsh, the Ghost of Saltmarsh, other than using Saltmarsh as a home base. You rolled an 87 on your perception, Adam. I don't think that's possible. Unless you rolled a... There you go. That's it. There you go, Major Victory. I like it. And you rolled a 23. Holy crap. But, so... if they take out a key NPC, man, you got to be on your toes and think about what could happen next and what, plus modifiers is 45. That's funny. But you got to be on your toes, and you got, like, okay, say, for instance, if, I got to take this watch off. I'm getting too many texts. For instance, if I have somebody that is supposed to be a guide for my players, and they don't trust him, and through some kind of folly of theirs, 45, what kind of modifiers have you got, Major Victory? If they decide that they do not trust him, and through some kind of folly of their own, they kill their guide, man, you just got to keep on your toes, and either somebody's getting arrested, and they do a jailbreak, or they find another key NPC that will help them along the way reluctantly because they killed their last guide. Is there anything you ban outright in your games? As far as gameplay, spoke with a DM from another channel who bans the use of Lehman's Tiny Hut. No, man. I don't find that fun. The only thing that I don't use that some DMs use is the flanking rule, because I find the flanking rule is chaotic at best, but also takes flavor away from rogues and getting their advantage. That's optional anyway. Absolutely. I don't ban much as far as gameplay. I don't. If it's in the spell book, man, and you come across it, if you come across it legit, then it's yours to use. Core stuff, no, man. I don't. Why ban it? I don't really ban much of anything. There's no sense in it, because if as a DM, if I'm not smart enough to handle what they throw at me, then I have no business DMing, So, people are, if they come across it, and they get it legit, they deserve it. Can we all hit him when he gets up and then hit him again because it's his turn? Yeah, yeah. The only reason I don't use flanking, because it is optional. If anything, I love making my players OP. I do too, man. I love giving them that magical weapon. Too. Now, I don't go with the Matt Mercer effect. Now, Matthew Mercer is a phenomenal DM, and I learned a lot by watching Critical Role and listening to the Adventure Zone, and watching Chris Perkins and all these other guys. I don't go by the Matt Mercer effect at all. You can't hold anybody to except to your own. You can't hold yourself to anything else other than your own standards. So it's not fair to yourself to hold yourself to the standard of a professional voice actor and a guy that's been DMing for 20 years, or even like TJ Storm, who's been playing and DMing for 30 years. You can't hold yourself to that standard, man. You just got to have fun. But anyway. The flanking thing, our OP, not flanking, but the OP players, I loved seeing their eyes light up and being able to make the cool character and everything. I love giving them the weapon that I go by the Matt Mercer rule. I borrowed this from him, I stole it from him, whatever you want to say, of dormant, awakened, and exalted weapons, and that way it's less work on me to give them magical items and stuff. So I like that a lot. Your Sunday group of 6 level 7 players killed the same shadow dragon twice with no rest. It was fun. I love that, dude. And if it's fun, you said the name of the game right there. You're having fun. You're having fun. So I love giving them that weapon that's tailored to them a little bit, and they don't really know it until they start using it, you know, and they're like, oh, wow, you know, I'm a warlock and this gives me +1 charisma. That's awesome. So I do that. Now with flanking, I had a bad experience with flanking with people when I was first DMing, trying to take advantage of the flanking rule. And you know, that's why I don't use it. It's more work on everybody involved. And like I said, I think it takes something away from rogues, man. Rogues get that advantage and they do their sneak attack, you know, and get that sneak attack advantage. So I think because it's built into the rogue, why should everybody else get it too? Killed it once, banished to the Shadowfell, then haggled with a hag to merge the Shadowfell and Prime Material long enough to kill him for real, all in one set. Holy crap, dude, that's incredible. That is so cool, man. I would have loved to have been a part of a session like that. Dude, that's great. Now, okay, so you haggled with a hag. So who was DMing at this point? Because as a DM, role-playing a hag and having players want to haggle with her, oh, that's a DM's dream, because hags are notorious for wanting to make deals. Oh, dude, what kind of deal did you make with them then? Because hags are awful creatures, but they will make a deal with you, man, and they'll screw you over if they can. So what kind of deal did you make with them? I'll wait. While I'm doing that, I'll get another question. This one's from Benny. Promise to hand over all the parts of the dragon to her. Whoa! Specifically, its heart. Oh, man, they didn't get to keep any of it. That's good, because that hag could do a lot of damage with all those dragon parts. That's phenomenal. So, Adam, what are you talking about lawful evil? That would have been cured in... yeah, they would be cured in some non-specific ways. I love it, man. I love it. All right, Major Victory, DM to DM right now. I'll ask you this. Cursed, yeah. I read cured, but I think I knew what you meant, even though I read it exactly what you meant. I am watching in the chat. And okay, so I'll watch in a different chat. Hags, are they typically lawful evil? Yeah, it's a bit of a trope. Let me do something real quick. Okay, DM to DM though, real quick. I know we've got another DM in here. Wishes. Do you like to screw over players on wishes? As far as hags go, I have to go with it. Thanks, buddy. Nerd Basis, you have a good night, all right, man? It depends. Okay. How would you move away from the typical lawful evil trope? If I have players who made a contract with the devil, her soul for 3 wishes. Oh, that's a bad move. Okay, so hags. I thought so, and I'm not trying to correct, but hags can be any. I've already spoken with this player prior. Character would never try to. Never try to lawyer the wish. Okay, that's awesome. Good. Um, Hags can be anything you want them to be, but typically, rules as written, they're not lawful evil. They're either neutral evil or chaotic evil. So, like a night hag is neutral evil, and that's kind of what you find in like Curse of Strahd. A sea hag or an Annis hag, we'll say that an Annis hag is next. I think they're new. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, Annis hags are chaotic evil. Green hags are neutral evil. Dusk hags are chaotic, I believe. No, they're neutral. I should have looked at that. And Burr hags are chaotic, and sea hags are chaotic. I believe, yes. So they are all kinds of evil, but they're not neutral or they're not lawful evil. To me, lawful evil is they have a set of rules that, of course, they follow. But even though it's kind of like the Kingpin in Marvel Comics. Lawful equals some kind of code, exactly. The Kingpin has a code he follows, but he's still an evil dude. Hags normally don't have a code. Exactly, it doesn't have to be a good code, just a code. It's just like Captain America would be lawful good. Everybody's like, no, he's chaotic good. No, he's lawful good because he has a code that he follows. He follows his own law, whether it be the law of the land or some. It doesn't have to be the law of the land. He just follows it. But so hags, they normally some of them just stay out of everybody's business, but they are evil creatures. And then you got chaotic evil, which is just there to screw your day up and keep on going. But if you want to play a hag as a lawful evil character, you can. Now you can have a hag that goes by some sort of code. But normally they're just known for making deals. So if you go up to a hag and you're like, "Hey, don't kill us, or we'll do this," they'll make a deal, even with a chaotic good character, or a paladin or something like that. Now, a paladin might not make a deal with a hag, but they'll make a deal with a character, a good character. It doesn't have to be all evil. Now, they'll also look for a way to screw that character over. Yeah, they'll make a deal. So now a chaotic evil is just there to eat your face and go on. But a neutral evil will be like, well, hold on. How does this benefit me? How can I make this benefit me? You're not a crappy DM. You're not a crappy DM. So that's why, like, the green hags and night hags, in particular, are really cool about making deals. Exactly. You can change the alignment of anything you want. Absolutely. I've actually changed a player's alignment in mid-game, but he was doing dumb stuff. So I changed it on him. And that was a day right there. And playing hags as lawful evil is just way too much fun. It really is. It can be. I'm more of the neutral evil kind of guy that I'm willing to make a deal with somebody, but also it's going to super benefit the hag in the long run, and hopefully antagonize the players to come back and fight a little bit, get that combat in there. So Benny asked me, what are your thoughts on DM and player character voices? You're the see. We're right here. We're right here. I'm the kind of DM that does voices, and I just love doing a breathy, creepy whisper for the hag or similar creatures. Absolutely. I think voices, personally, for that DMs and players do, I welcome it. Absolutely. Now, if they're not comfortable doing one, don't have to do one. It's not a required thing at my table, but it is a welcomed thing at my table. I try to do as many voices as I can. Right now, I just have Bold, mostly for larger, like regal characters, and then I'll try to lower the tone and stuff like that. I'm working on accents. I can't really do a whole lot of accents or anything like that. I have a crappy, like a Eastern European accent that I use for Barovians in Curse of Strahd, but I am working on a German accent. My repertoire of voices is small, so I just use it to distinguish NPCs apart or specific races. That's what I try to do. I can't do a lot of. I can't do a lot of uh, accents. Scottish, Irish, British. I've done them. I can do them. I'm just not secure in it yet. I can do a good Russian, some British, Bavarian accent. Wow, that's pretty cool. And a little mix of all three as one. Sometimes my Barovian accent, as I like to call it, it can tend to be a little muddled. At times, I don't really like it, and I can slip. Now, there is some other accents that I'm working on, such as the German accent or the German accent. And as I go along, I slip in and out of it, as there is really no sense in me continuing talking like this because, frankly, it's terrible. Uh, but, you know, sometimes my British accent comes out a little Jason Statham at times, and then sometimes it comes out as, a little too Monty Python. Jacques Klaus, das ist very good Wassermelon, ja? Yes, yes it is. Klaus, I, I, I think we understand what you're trying to say. So, when I first tried to do a German accent, it came out very Hogan's Heroes. Not a good thing. But yeah, I'm trying not to do the typical like straight up. That is very good Wassermelon. That is really good. That is really really good spelling in that, man. That helps me. I can if I can see it. That's awesome. I tried to get another streamer to try the Russian accent. He kept slipping the South African voice. That's incredible. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Turkish. Who's Turkish? Oh, Turkish. Yeah. When he's was asking about the sausages, and he's like, 2 minutes Turkish, and he's like, 2 minutes. You said 2 minutes 4 minutes ago. when his buddy pulls that massive hand cannon in. We're talking about. Oh shoot! Help me out with the. Snatch, the movie. But when he pulls out the massive hand cannons, he goes, "Oh, what are you afraid of, Tommy? The Germans." And it was just amazing. The Turkish Minute. Yep. Oh man, that I got to go back and revisit that movie. And honestly, I watch a lot of movies like that to try to get Island Time in Hawaii. Yes, it is very much. I've never been to Hawaii, but I've heard that term before. But it is you pick up a lot when you watch movies like that, and I try to incorporate. I'm trying to incorporate that into my DMing. But right now on stream, the only thing I have that we're DMing right now, or that I'm DMing right now, is Curse of Strahd. So it's all kind of like, that gothic horror stuff. Snatch is very much a Cockney accent, very much. Actually, for a play I was in a long time ago, because I did a lot of stage acting back in the day, I had to learn a Cockney accent, and it was so long ago that I've forgotten 99.9% of it. It was a lot of fun. It was a murder mystery. So it was, oh gosh, I can't remember what it was called now. But it was a lot of fun. I had to learn a Cockney accent. But like I said, back in the day, I did a lot of stuff on the stage. But I've forgotten 99.9% of everything that I've learned there. Yeah, a Cockney accent is very exaggerated. But if you can imagine a Southern West Virginia boy, because that's where I'm from, Southern West Virginia, trying to do a Cockney accent, and and it coming off sounded very Monty Python, with lots of right, 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 kind of deal. It was comical and a little insulting at times, I'm sure. But it was still a lot of fun. God, God dang it, Bobby! So, some of that propane. Dang it, Bobby! Yeah, I can't do a very good Hank Hill, but it's still a lot of fun. But you know, I've lost a lot of my Southern accent until I get tired or excited, and then some of that West Virginia does come out when I get a little irritated or a little tired. Some of that West Virginia comes out pretty good, especially when I'm streaming Xbox. When I'm playing shooters and stuff. Hey, stop. Okay, buddy. My dog. On my World War, I love playing orcs with a Russian accent. Yes, that is a lot of fun, and it gives them more flavor than just the grunts and the that a lot of people do it with. Orcs are very interesting creatures, and they don't get a lot of love, in my opinion. Now, that was the other thing that everybody's kind of up in arms about orcs and drow and a few others not being inherently evil races anymore. And it is what it is as far as that goes, because in my games, oh no, you get robbed in the street, they take your stuff, they kill you. No, then what? Then what is problem? Oh, you get robbed in the street, they take your stuff, they kill you. No. Then what is problem? Yeah. Orcs have a rich, kind of a history in drow. But, the way I look at it is you can play any character, any race you want in my games. I will allow drow. I will allow orc. Of course, they all have, they have stats that you can use in books as far as that go. I don't care. There may be some people that look at you funny in some towns. There may not be. It just depends. It's only a big deal if you make it a big deal. So I've chosen not to make it a big deal, and I welcome people to play different classes and races that a lot of people deem inherently evil. I don't care as much. There are evil drow in my world because, you worship the Spider Queen Loth. That's creepy. But I've decided in my worlds, whether it be Forgotten Realms, Homebrew, whatever, there are good in every race. And there are evil in every race. And it just depends on who you run across. How do you handle in-game racism? That's a really good question. In-game, you better have a good reason for it. If it's just because you want to play a douchebag, then no. I get the appeal of trying to create some sort of conflict within the game, but don't do it just to be a dick. Pardon my French on that. There are people that will not like orcs. There are people that will not like drow. There are people that will not like dwarves. So there is in-game racism and everything, but I don't indulge in it, too far. Well, why does this person hate drow? Well, it's because a group of evil drow came by and burned down his town and killed his whole family and everybody there. Kind of a deal. So he doesn't trust drow, elves, wood elves. He doesn't trust XYZ for this reason. if it's to just to do it, no, we're not going to just do it. It's going to have a reason behind it. It's a very touchy subject anyway. But it normally comes from evil. I mean, like, if it's just like legit in-game racism or anything like that, it's going to come from a chaotic evil person. Like I said, it's a touchy subject, and I try to avoid it the best I can, but it does come up. It's just like we had one player who said that orcs raided his town, burned his farm, killed people that he knew. So from then on, he hated orcs and everything that had to do with orcs. So when he came across one of our other players who was a half-orc barbarian, the other player decided, hey, this is a really good opportunity to kind of breach that gap and have some comedy with it too. So his character immediately took to the other character as his best friend, and it still made the other guy very, very uncomfortable. The other character, not the other guy. The other character very uncomfortable and everything, but it started to loosen him up as we went along. So it was like a growing moment for that character, so much so that later on, one of the other characters decided to retire, and he brought in the player brought in a new character, which was an orc artificer from Eberron, and he was okay with it. It was like a growing moment. It was actually pretty cool. Actual racism, not welcome at my table, ever. New topic, very good. You can tell it was a little uncomfortable, but yeah, there is no, like, my number one rule. Pardon my terminology when I say this. Is at my table, just don't be a dick to anybody or the DM. Player death. How do you do anything special for players? It depends. Yes, I do. It depends on how it happens, when it happens, etc. The one major player death that I had was in the Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign that I talked about. It was, I've got a pre-written cutscenes for some of my players. Okay, so I will put this to you. My characters, my players decided to move in on this orc encampment on this old dwarven fortress that was abandoned. So it looked abandoned, and these orcs had taken it over. So they only saw a few orcs. I run my games very much like a sandbox. If you walk into something that you're too low level to handle, you have every opportunity to walk away. But I'm not going to hold your hand through it. I like the idea of, depending on their actions, I like the idea of pre-written cutscenes. So this one kind of came as a shock. So one of my players' characters basically backed himself into a corner, and he was playing a paladin, I believe it was, and he was somehow had vicious mockery, so he kept casting vicious mockery, and it was doing damage, and or resistance or anything like that, and it came down to he was fighting an orc chieftain and an orc, and they cut him down, man, and the orc chieftain looked around, and everybody was 65 feet or greater away from him. And the only viable threat that he had in front of him was the guy laying on the ground. So he coup de grace him. And that was the only thing that I could think of to do. So I played the scene out, and I said he raises his axe, and he looks at you and gives you one last but he wouldn't have, man. He wouldn't have. No, this was because they attacked them first. So the players attacked the orcs first and took down some of their guys. So they unleashed a hybrid creature that I created. It was a half stone giant, half ogre that came out and just started wrecking shop. So our warlock at that time started wrecking his shop. And like our warlock was another glass cannon that we had at the time. And he tore that ogre, stone giant ogre up. I mean, they were going back and forth. And the rogue that they had at the time was doing a lot of damage too, with sneak attacks and stuff like that. So the orc chieftain said, it was like in his mind, the character that I had written for him was just like, you come to my home, you attack my people, and you expect me to give you quarter? Absolutely not. So that's why he did away with him, and took him off the board. Now my players eventually started handing their those orcs their butts, and they conquered the day, and then went on and got some good loot and furthered the story and stuff like that. But it was one of those things where I hated to do it. I tried to make it as cool as possible, but it was just in that that I was painted into a corner, man, and I didn't have any other way out but that. I didn't want to cheapen the story. I didn't want to cheapen the fight. I didn't want it to. I didn't go looking for that MacGuffin, that Deus Ex Machina to get him out of it. So that's it was a hard decision on my part, but I had to make it. There's that one bug that is in here. If it happens, you got to let it happen. I mean, you're exactly right. If it happens, it happens. The players can sense when you pull a big hit. They can. I don't fudge dice rolls very often. I have done it before. Mostly it's for younger players that I will do that, that are learning to play, or people that are learning to play at lower levels. Now, when it gets up to higher levels and you've got some experience under your belt, there's not much going on as far as fudging dice rolls. I don't like. You're exactly right. I don't like it when they can sense that you pulled a big hit. If you pull a big hit, it cheapens the play, that cheapens the story, and in my opinion, it's not fun. You can still have fun, but that one moment will always stick with you, and it will always be a regret. And that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, it's had a player use a beat of force on a boss monster on a skyship way up in the air. Really? What was the outcome of that? He decided to kick it overboard and let it fall. Damage. Wait. So your player decided to kick it overboard and let fall damage kill it. Okay, so he kicked a boss, the monster, overboard and let fall damage kill it. He's planning to Misty Step to the ground and take no damage. Oh no. This does not sound like it has a happy ending. So Misty Step to the ground. Told him he would put a DC on this to see if he could time the spell within 30 feet to avoid dying by falling. That's brilliant. He rolled. DC was 20, rolled a 19. Plus mods made the roll. Okay. So he made the roll. That's awesome. So he lands no issue. I love it. I love it. So I did something like that. We had to abandon the skyship one time. I was playing in my friend's campaign, and we jumped overboard, and we had hang gliders as parachutes. Boss lands, his beta force pops, and he takes 53 bludgeoning from landing. Yo! Dang! Okay. That's awesome. The boss survives with 15 hit points. The player has only 5 hit points in play. Oh, no. No! It doesn't have a happy ending. It doesn't. Oh, no. Oh, crap. You're kidding me. That sucks. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those moments where you can't hold back, dude. You cannot hold back. That monster was probably pissed that it got kicked off of the skyship. So, I mean, you got to do what you got to do as a DM, right? Man, that's a good story. I mean, I can't wait for what you say next, to be honest. Other party members including Ancient Copper Dragon? Dang, dude. You run some epic campaigns. Boss kills a player, and I got to read him his death cutscene. Man, that's sick. All right, I kept it. If you want to read it, yeah, man, go for it. Real quick though, minis or no minis? Are you a mini person when you DM? Do you like physical terrain, or are you a theater of the mind? Huh. I think I just... For some reason, I think I'm lagging. Oh, maybe we're back. We're back! I'm a PC guy. I usually use on-monitor visuals. Okay, I'm a PC guy too, but I have a lot of physical terrain because I love physical terrain, especially when I'm DMing in person. So this is my Reaper version of Tiamat. She's missing a tail right now that I'm painting, and I've got to paint up her mouths. This is my Tiamat that I'm in the middle of painting up. I don't have any minis, but I do have some physical maps, just nothing well made. I get it, man. But I'm a fiend for minis and physical terrain. So now that we do everything online, I thank you very much. I set up a separate camera, and I click over to Battle Cam, and they can see the physical terrain that is happening. As far as their maps and things like that. So, can I post a link? Yes, you may. Are you able to? Is the question. You can give it a shot because I had somebody post a link in earlier by mistake. As long as it's a safe link, I do not care, my friend. Oh, won't let you post one, will it? Yeah, I've set some pretty high security around this, so I do apologize. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get around that. Want me to DM it to you through Twitch? Yes, please. I would actually really like that. That would be great. Um, that would be awesome. Just send me a whisper. I forgot that I had my D&D Beyond overlay on. That's pretty cool. Um, that'd be great. Now, as far as sorry, I'm looking around. I'd also love to hear you reading it if you want. It's, okay, okay, that'd be fine. Oh, hey, look at there, look at there. Major victory. Okay, so let's look at it real quick. All right. What I will do is I will turn down the music just a hair. It's about right there, and then I'll turn it down on my end because it's still going. It's pretty epic music, but I'm going to turn it down just a hair. No swears and the like. Okay, good deal. All right, I like it. So, everything is black. You hear nothing, see nothing, can't even feel the ground beneath your feet. You feel as if you're floating in an endless void. The air is cold and sends a shiver down your spine to think of it. You quickly inspect your body and find all your wounds have disappeared. Beyond that, the more disturbing fact is that you're only wearing the most basic of cloth tunics, and all your stuff is gone. You look around you and find only emptiness. You float there for a brief moment, slightly panicking before something appears on the horizon. A bright red light shines ahead of you, its shape slowly morphing into that of a doorway. The shadow of some small creature, maybe 3 feet tall at best, moves into the light and hovers there, seemingly at eye level. You see its form take a more defined shape, and its arm extends out and points at you. Without your input, you feel yourself being pulled towards the red glowing doorway. The movement is sudden and jerky at first, but quickly becomes a swift movement as you feel the cold air rush past you at a steadier pace. The doorway now becomes clearer, and you can see more details of the creature before you. Player rolled a 20 on a history check for needed an 18. You recognize these creatures as imps. Minion creatures of the underworld. The doorway approaches quickly now, and you feel yourself gaining speed. You instinctively brace for impact as the red door frame is now immediately upon you. Just as you prepare to strike its surface, you are quickly stopped in place, and your feet touch solid ground with a thump. You find yourself with a bright red imp hovering in front of your face, and he speaks quickly and tersely. Yes, you're dead. No, you're not in the nine hells. You're currently in limbo, and will be sorting your soul to the correct afterlife. What is your name? Zeph Valentine. Which god do you follow? Well, do you expect to be revived soon? No? The imp pulls out a clipboard and quickly searches the list, flipping for a few pages before finding your entry. He turns to a large devil standing next to him and says something infernal. Give this one to Tiamat. Give this one a Tiamat marker. Section 18. Around you, you can see other shimmering visages being pulled from doorways of pitch black and other sets of imps and devils questioning them as they arrive. They seem efficient and quick as each ghostly form is processed. Soon you are ushered through a doorway into a tall hallway that stretches off in both directions as far as can be seen. An imp just outside the door looks at your mark, points you down the hall, and barks an order at you. Follow the green line. Don't go in any other doors. You look down the hallways to see shimmering forms of thousands of individuals, some tall, some short, some of beastly form. You notice them all standing upon a red line marked on the floor, barely moving forward while your green line continues down the hall unimpeded. Eventually, your line leads to a large red and black door with an imp hovering in front of 2 devils leering at you from either side. The imp quickly looks at the mark on your forehead and speaks to the guards in Infernal. Section 10, let them in. The imp looks back at you and says, "Go inside and take a seat. You're lucky. The show is about to begin. Some of the souls in there they've been waiting for a long time." Once inside the room, you find yourself in a large open space with rows of seating. And ahead of you is a glass wall overlooking a vast stadium filled with the blue glimmering of souls filling into what must be millions of seats. Standing in front of the window, facing away from you, is a tall, womanly form with large horns. Her iridescent skin changes colors as the light shifts around her. She turns to face you and reveals bright yellow eyes and glowing horns. She speaks. "I am Tiamat, the evil goddess of the chromatic dragons. You must be Zev. I've been waiting for you. We need to talk." And that's where we'll end our session. Man, that was really good. I'm really impressed with that. That was fantastic. Hope I did it justice by reading it. And hopefully you meant for me to read it out loud, because I just did a whole what you call it, performance there for you. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's a lot of fun, man. I love stuff like that. It's that's why I love DMing, man. You get to tell a story. You get to have fun, use silly voices, and you get to. Oh, hey, look at that! My player characters are up, and I want them to go away. Cool. Okay. Sorry. You get to be other people and help other people be other characters for a while, and it's so much fun, man. I love it. It's so much freaking fun. But yeah. So, well, Major Victory. I have been streaming for almost an hour and a half, which is pretty much a record for me just getting on here and talking. I've answered a few questions. Thank you so much for sticking around and chilling with me. So, on some context, the player is a coffee lock, and he believes his patron to be the soul of a blue dragon trapped in his sickle. Okay, I like it. But the way you said he believes, it's actually, there you go. That's what I was wondering. That's what I was waiting for. It's actually Tiamat. So, his patron is Tiamat, who saw how he did it and enjoyed it so much that she became his patron, and that's how he found out. That's freaking brilliant. I love it. That's great. That's fantastic. I applaud you, and I may steal that one day. No, but hey, like I said, I've been streaming for about an hour and a half now, and dude, it's been so much fun being able to just chill and talk about D&D and talk about my DMing experience. Yeah, we'll go with experience. And it can come with some woe. It can come with some ups and downs. It was fun. Thanks for letting. Dude, you didn't steal my show at all. You are fantastic, and I'm glad you stuck around, man. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad you're here. So I need to figure out how to do this, but if you don't follow me, won't you give me a follow? And we can definitely do this again. I will be doing this again. Now I'm going to take a week off from this because I'm going to try to do it every Thursday night. Now, this coming Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving, so I will be out of town. Major Victory, thank you for letting us lead you into glorious adventure. And thank you for adventuring with us. But yeah, I'll be doing this in 2 weeks' time. Again, after Thanksgiving, I picked a precarious Thursday to do this on because I'll do it and then I'm going to take a week off. But it's probably good because everybody's sick of hearing me speak. But if you have Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time free, I'd love for you to come by and hang out and watch us play D&D. That would be so much fun. Got a great group. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you should come around and hang out with us. We try to keep up with the chat, but we get into the games sometimes, and we miss a lot of stuff on the chat. So I'm working on trying to get us a moderator for that, so they can answer any questions or anything like that. But my friend, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the follow and everything, and we'll do this again. I hope you stick around and come in and hang out with me again. So tell your friends, tell everybody, and we'll all hang out together. All right. Have a beautiful night, and give me a yell.